Hey guys, Reed here and welcome to Reed Reborn. So today is a guide on the second dungeon from Heavensward, Sohm. To get into this dungeon you need to be a minimum of level 53 and it is unlocked right at the end of the main story quest line in the Dravanian Forelands. So after killing a few monsters you're going to come onto the first boss room and face Raskovnik. So our first move to look out for is Acid Rain. A short while after this finishes casting, every single player will be targeted by a small circle around them, so just dodge that, keep running and move out of the way. The second AoE to look out for is a straight line AoE called Phyto Beam, so if this is directed at you at any point, just be sure to move out of the way. And this leads on to the next move. The boss will cast Sweet Scent, and when that finishes casting, some Dravanian Hornets will spawn at the edge of the arena and make their way in. So during this, one player will have like an orange marker above their head, and shortly after they'll be sucked in towards the boss, and then the boss will cast Devour. Players can easily avoid this, but if there's any Dravanian Hornets alive in the circle when the boss casts Devour, they'll give him an increased damage stack, so players should run away from party members and Hornets to avoid the Hornets being sucked in or other players. And finally, a move that does party-wide damage is Leaf Storm. When this finishes casting, it does around 1,500 damage to everyone, so just be aware of this and heal up afterwards. But apart from that, just deal with the AoEs and the Hornets, and then you would have killed the boss and then can carry on with the dungeon. So after killing a few more sets of monsters, you can come to the second boss room and face Myath. So our first AoE to look out for is Razor Scales. This is a conal AoE, and if you're further away it might be harder to dodge just because it's wider, but just if you see that, just be sure to move out of the way. So a second move that does party-wide damage is Primordial Roar. After this, each player will take about 2,000 damage and then there'll be 4 adds on the floor. He'll then jump to these adds and hit them, which will then give a marker above a certain player's head. And if there's a red marker above a player's head, you can stack up with them and the damage spreads out. And obviously the more players the better. I think you need 3 for the damage to actually be split, because if there's only 2, just the other player just takes the damage with that player. However, if you get a blue marker above your head, you don't have to stack up because these do a lot less damage. But once all the adds are gone, you can carry on with the fight. Okay, so after a bit more fighting, the boss will cast Primordial Roar again. And this time there'll be 4 adds again, but an extra one called a Chime of the Mountain, and this should be prioritised to take out as quick as possible. If it's allowed to finish casting the last song, it will do heavy party-wide damage, dealing around 5,000 damage to each player. And this mixed with the move where someone gets a red marker above their head does mean they'll take too much damage and probably die as such, which could lead to a wipe. Luckily ours didn't, however, but yeah, you need to make sure you take out that Chime of the Mountain as quick as possible, then you can carry on with the fight, then you would have killed the boss and can carry on with the dungeon. After killing some final monsters, you will come on to the final boss room and face Tiaman. So our first move to look out for is Chaos Blast. One player will be targeted by a small circle, and this will lead to each player having to dodge a larger circle and some other straight line AoEs, so just be aware of that and move out of the way. So a second move to look out for is Comet. This will bring some AoEs to the floor whilst also targeting 2 or 3 players with a green marker above their head. After a short while these green markers will disappear and some meteors will drop, and it is completely up to the party how they want to sort it out. Players can either stack up and then run away, or they can be placed in separate areas and then all run to the same direction. But after the green marker disappears, you need to run away to not take any damage from the meteors. So at 50% the boss is going to become invulnerable and you're going to have to take his wings out. But during this part, players are going to be targeted by an orange marker above their head. And they're going to be hit by a move called Heavensfall, and around them is going to be some circular AoEs that they also have to dodge. So during the bit with the wings and after for the rest of the fight, the boss will occasionally cast Dark Star, which is a party-wide move that does around 2,000 damage, so just be aware of this and heal up afterwards. So after DPSing the boss down, dodging the AoEs and all the things from this fight, you'd have killed the boss and then you'd have finished Sohm, and then you can carry on through the story from Heavensward and move on to the Churning Mists. However, that is my guide over. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Final Fantasy XIV videos in the future.